Good afternoon everybody, and welcome to the first sea day of the new year. Let's hope at some point this year we will actually get sailing again, but I don't know when that'll be. Anyway, today I'm going to do some baking, and I'm going to be making what we call, or what I call, raspberry puff pastry royals. And what it is basically the trusty just raw puff pastry, which I will, when it's raw, put some royal icing over the top of it, spread it over the top of it, get some good quality lemon curd and put a design, which I'll show you when I do it, on top. Then we bake them, cut them into squares and bake them, and then when they cool down we'll put some raspberries and some cream in them, some whipped double cream. The good thing about these, or the thing that makes them different, should I say, not the good thing, the thing that makes them different is that if you did vanilla cream slices, for argument's sake, you would bake the puff pastry and then make a water icing which you put on top and then feather it. Hopefully you know what feathering means, but it just means put a design on top. But you do that, put the water icing on top after it's baked. But we're going to put, as I said before, the icing on top and bake the icing, and it gives it a lovely crispy sweet taste, and it just adds to the flavour of the puff pastry and the raspberries. So as I say, I'll take you through it, but as I say, the important thing is we're using royal icing. Right, so first of all I'll just take you through the ingredients. So icing sugar and an egg, and that's to make the royal icing, which I'll show you how to do in a minute. Some good quality lemon curd, which I've just got in a piping bag because I need to pipe that later. Some seedless raspberry jam, some double cream, raspberries which I've washed and dried, and as I said before, the good old just rolled puff pastry. So that's all you need. So the first thing to do is get your egg white. So there we go, egg white into the bowl, put the egg yolk to one side. So add icing sugar, and then mix it in with a spoon. Now I can't give you quantities with this because they're so small, but I'll try and show you the consistency that it's supposed to go to once it's all beaten in and mixed in. So just keep adding the icing sugar until, as I say, you get the correct consistency. Right, we're starting to get there now. You don't want it too stiff, you don't want it the consistency that you would pipe on a wedding cake, because you want to be able to spread it. So if you can see that, see how it just drops nicely? That's the sort of consistency that you're going to want. Okay. So that's the royal icing done. It's fairly straightforward, but the hard bit is just getting that consistency right. Right, before we started, I've lined a couple of trays with some baking paper, so that they're ready for the puff pastries. So the first thing to do is get your trusty puff pastry, and you don't need any flour on this because, again, like we did last time, if you remember, we're just going to use the paper that comes with the puff pastry. There we go. So just open this up, and if you've left it out of the fridge for 10 minutes it's quite pliable. Right, so that's pretty much, so you don't need to touch that anymore, you don't need to roll it out anymore. Now we're going to cut this into 15 squares basically, but they're not quite squares because of the length of the puff pastry. They need to be 2 3/4 inches long by 3 inches, because that's 9 inches by 14. So it's 3 inches that way and 2 3/4 inches this way. Okay. So as I said before, the first thing to do is put your royal icing on. So put it on top of you. Oh. And what we're going to do is just put this on and then spread it out. You don't want it too thick. There we go. So spread this out. Right, as you can see, I've spread the the royal icing all over the puff pastry, and 1 egg white with the right consistency of icing sugar added, or the right amount of icing sugar added to give it the consistency, does 1 of these puff pastry sheets. Okay, so now, as I say, 3 inches that way and 2 1/4 inches this way, because we're going to try and get 15 out of this. And then 3 inches that way. Okay, so as you can see, we've got 15 squares there. Now what we need to do next is transfer these onto the trays, so come back once I've put them on the trays. Right, now as you can see, they're cut into squares, or as I said before, nearly squares, 3 inches by 2 3/4 inches. And what we're going to do now is you get your piping bag of lemon curd, and you just put a zigzag like that across the royal icing. Now once you've done all these, you leave them to rest for about 10 minutes, because puff pastry needs to rest before you put it in the oven. There we go. So these go in the oven for 18 minutes on 180 fan, and then once they cool down, I'll show you what to do next. Right, after 18 minutes, you end up with these little beauties, and hopefully you can see again the markings where the lemon curd has made that shape. And what we need to do now is just put these on a baking tray, not a baking tray, sorry, cooling tray, cool down. Right, so what I've got here is some whipped double cream in a piping bag with a star nozzle. Remember the raspberry jam? Just in a piping bag, and I've just snipped the end off the bag. The raspberries, and these are beautiful puff pastry squares with the royal icing, which is now set because it's been baked, and the lemon curd running through it. Believe me, it tastes lovely. But what we've got to do first of all is split these. Okay, so just get a serrated knife and split them. Obviously I've got 15 here to do, but I'll only do 1 to show you the principle. So open up your tart, okay. Get some raspberry jam just in the middle, a little blob. A little bit of cream, and then we're going to put 4 raspberries, don't particularly matter where they go, 4 raspberries like that, another blob of cream on top, and then put the lid back on, and that is the tart. That's all there is to it, nothing more, nothing less. So that is a raspberry royal puff pastry tart. So obviously you can't taste it, but I can tell you that they taste lush, and I shall be having one shortly. So there they are, that's all 15 done. As you can see, raspberries and cream. There we go. And as I say, they taste lush, so give it a go. See you next time.